Hi, boys and girls. Well, we're going to take another look at school. In this one, we're using different kinds of words. Instead of past and present, we're using then and now. Then and now have a similar meaning to the past and the present. So what happened back then may be different to what is happening now. So this book is called School, Then and Now. I can see that this teacher is wearing a very long dress and a fancy blouse, and the little girls are also wearing fancy dresses and button-up shoes, and little boys are wearing pants and jackets. I think this might be a picture from back then. Doesn't look like something that we would wear right now. Let's take a look and see some other things that are coming from back then and might be different to what we do now. Title page, School, Then and Now. We go to school to learn and see friends. Well, that is definitely something that hasn't changed from then and now. Those children went to school to learn and see their friends, and we come to school to learn and see our friends, something that has not changed. School has changed over time. We definitely do not have a fireplace in the middle of our school to heat up our building. We have things like central air and the air conditioning that help heat and cool our building. Long ago, children had to walk many miles to school. Now, children take buses to school. So back then, just like in our other story, we saw children who had to walk a long time. Sometimes children would have to walk over an hour to get to school. That's a really long time to be walking. And then we have a lot of children who ride buses, but also come in cars. There are even some children in the world who go to school by boat. Interesting. Long ago, schools only had one room. Now schools are large buildings with many rooms. We learned about that information in our other book. And our school building definitely has more than one room. We have 3 kindergarten classrooms just for us. Long ago, children in your class were many ages. Now children in your class are all the same age, or at least close to it. So there we can see lots of different ages in just one class. And here we know that most of us are the same age. Long ago, students had to share a desk. Now students have their own desks. Well, sometimes we also share tables. So that's something that could be a little similar. Not all of us have our own desk. Like on the other side of my classroom, we have 2 students who share one table. So, it's not necessarily sharing a desk though, is it? And those children definitely look more crowded than our children. Oh, once again, I see that fireplace to heat up the classroom. Oh, and there's a big blackboard around the classroom. Interesting. Long ago, students wrote on slates. That's a fancy word for a small blackboard. Now students write in notebooks. Hey, that's like our work journals that we use. Now, long ago, paper was very expensive and hard to come by, so blackboards were cheaper and you could reuse them over and over again, which I actually think is pretty good for our environment. There would be less waste. But it would be hard to record your work. At least in a journal, I can look back at my old work and see how I had improved. Long ago, students wrote with chalk. Now, students write with pencils. Oh, That's pretty neat. And a pencil doesn't leave behind that residue on your fingers. Chalk can be a little bit gritty and get your clothes all dusty. Pencils don't do that. So that might be something that I might like that's better now rather than then. Long ago, students learned writing, reading, and arithmetic. Arithmetic's a fancy word for mathematics. Now students also learn science and social studies. Wow. So not so long ago, they didn't learn about science and social studies. And there's a lot to know about the world. That's social studies and life in general. That would be science. And learning about some chemistry here. He's got a liquid in his very tall science. And then this one here has a beaker with some liquid in there too. Interesting. And here is a school timeline. A timeline shows you the difference between then and now by listing the dates where events happened. So, for example, this timeline talks about in 1565, that's a really long time ago, the pencil was invented. Then in 1635, the first public school opened. And in 1636, Harvard, the first colleges started. So before that, they didn't even have a proper college. In 1658, first children's picture book is published. So children who went to school before this date didn't even have picture books. And so you can see all the different things that happened over time. So I want you to think, which one do you think would be more interesting? Express your opinion to tell me if you like school in the past or if you like school in the present. School in the then or school in the now? Which one do you think you would like better? Having a classroom filled with different ages might be nice. So I would say I like school in the past, but I like learning about science and social studies. Yep, I like learning about school now. School in the now, because then I get science and social studies. That would be my opinion. What's your opinion? The then or the now?